All right, thank you. This is Anne Aleckson, the Soul Speaker, and welcome to our call tonight. I'm very, very excited to have you all with us, as always. It's very important to me. Well, it's not very important, but I'd really like to acknowledge you and the energy that you bring to this call, because we do operate from a collective energy field, and so everything that you've brought with you will also serve everyone who is in the call now or will be in the call at some later time. And it serves me as well, so I thank you for that. Just a couple of things I want to very quickly say, and one of those things is this. It's not my job to tell you everything or anything. It's my job to spark your soul to life and then to hold space for you to come into your own knowingness. I'm all about empowering you, or self-empowerment. Everything that I do is to lead you further along your path, to lead you into better connection with your soul, to lead you into hearing your own soul's voice if you're not yet doing that, or if you are doing it but you're doubting it, because that's the biggest thing in this journey, is that we don't trust ourselves. So that's that. I also would like to say to you that I spent some time before we started the call gathering together all of my guidance who've been with me most of the day, as I did some sessions today, but also so much more that has come along, because of course everything that you require has gathered. So when there's lots of us on the same call, there's lots more guidance available to everybody. We've all come together to answer your calling. That's our greatest service. It's what we are here for. It's what we use Anne's body for, to be of service to you. That is all we desire, and it's what we live for, so to speak. And we wanted to use that expression, live for, particularly because although we appear differently, we are still living. And we're living inside each and every one of you. We're not something that is outside of you. You are made up of the same energy that we are made of. And we wish nothing more than for you to start to recognize that, to tap into your own soul, to connect with your own, we could call it your soul, your higher self. We could call it your other aspects of self. It is all the same. And by doing so, to reach greater heights than you've ever reached before. And here's why. Because it's time. That's all there is to it. It's time. This time has been building for a very long time. We just noticed how often we're using the word time, and yet we don't even believe in it. But we are having a conversation in your language, so to speak. And so what we wish to say to you is, it is time. The time has been coming for a long time, but we are right in the midst of it now, right in the murkiness of it, right in the muck of it. And each and every one of you who have gathered here, who have brought forth all of us, are ready to jump, you see. And we know we make that sound scary, but what we mean to say is you're ready to take the leap of faith into your trusting self. It is nothing more than that. And understanding that you are more than who you believe yourself to be. And we know that many of you on this call already understand that, but we speak to the lowest common denominator, you understand. So if we may say something that you already know, we want you to simply acknowledge that, yes, I'm aware of that, and allow others to come to that awareness as well. And we want to say, with every word that we say, there is an energy that is becoming part of you as well through those words. And so simply accept that, invite that in. Whether you know what we're saying or not in your mind, we are talking to other parts of your beingness and working with that, you see. So your conscious mind may well be saying, I know that, but we want you to understand that underneath that, your unconscious mind is picking up on the unconscious knowledge that we are speaking as well. And your energy field is tapping into the energy of what we are saying. And we thank you for being here. And we will be back in just a moment. So that was unexpected. I didn't really expect that. That wasn't how it was supposed to go at all. I love it when I'm surprised. So who am I anyway? I think most of you on the call know me, so I won't bore you with the details. Suffice to say that approximately 10 to 11, 12 years ago, my life was pretty crap, and I decided that there had to be more to life than this, and so I set out trying to find what that was. Along my journey, I connected, and I'm so very blessed to have been able to connect with my soul and to, at the invitation of my soul, to be taken to places beyond my understanding and to meet beings that I had no idea prior to that even existed. And to come now into a whole new understanding of what this is involving, and understanding now that this is simply part of the human evolution that's happening. We are connecting more with our souls. We are being led to live soul-driven lives. We are being led to step into our soul's purpose, which is, by the way, simply 2 words: peace and love. That's where it's all leading to, through this evolution that we're going into. And so it's my greatest purpose and mission to support, to handhold, to speak words that you can't yet hear from your own self, in order to have you become who you came here to be, more so than you already are. So that's me. I call myself the soul speaker because every word that comes out of my mouth when I'm in this state, and I like to think I embody this more and more every single day as I live my journey. I'm not perfect by any means. I still yell at my son, all of those sorts of things, but more and more every day as I start to integrate and embody my soul and my higher aspects, or my other aspects, because we have so many other aspects of ourselves that we're now opening to. The more I do that, the easier life gets, the more fun I have, the more beautiful people like each and every one of you come and speak to me, and that's a great joy for me. So I'm here to serve, essentially, in the highest possible way. In other words, it's not to be in service to you, but to be of service to you, and that's what we're all here to do for various people. So that was a bit of a tangent, but back to it. What I want to do very, very quickly, I'm not going to waste our time this time. I did the last call, we covered this in great detail. It's, in the scheme of things, it's not that important, but I'm going to very quickly run through the 7 steps that I'd like to see each and every one of you, if you haven't yet, and I know many of you have, steps to take this year that will help you to finally release all of your blocks and pain that has been keeping you stuck. Step into your power as the creator of your reality, because I know you all know you are, but are you living it yet? And raise your energetic vibrational frequency so you can live a soul-led life with ease, grace, and peace. So I'm going to run through them very quickly. If you want any details about each of the points, the 7 things, ask me when we open the lines. Essentially, there are 7 things that are very important for you to be doing this year. The first one is self-heal. And so this year really is about tapping into your understanding that you have a healer within you. You are already a healer, and you're here to heal yourself. While you can certainly help other people heal, your first job is to heal yourself. In fact, your first job is always for yourself, because once you're living a soul-led life, you really are living life for everybody. There is only your life, and everything you do affects everyone around you. So if you're healed, then you are healing those around you as well. So that's number 1, becoming your own self-healer. And the second one is self-care. I can't stress enough how important self-love is in this age, right here and right now, particularly this year as we start March, which is March for the next 9 months is going to be transformational. You can do it easy, you can do it hard, but let me tell you that if you learn to love yourself and self-care, take care of yourself first, it will be easier for you. The third step is stepping up to joy. And so what that means is that your job here at the same time is to raise your vibrational frequency up to joy, up to love, up to this bliss, up to peace. There are things beyond that, and I want nothing more for you than those things. But let's get to joy first. And again, I know I'm feeling the energy of a number of you who are already and have been for a long time at that state. So that's fantastic. Now, all the 7 things that I mentioned actually will help you to raise your vibration. So while that's a particular point number 3, you'll be doing that through all of the other things that you're doing. So number 4 is about soul connection. It's really important this year that you really start to tap into your soul. Start hearing your soul's voice. And start, most importantly, having the faith and trust to follow that. Number 5 is soul purpose. It is the time now to start really stepping into your soul purpose, which, as I have mentioned, your soul purpose really is about being your soul. The purpose of everyone who's on the world and on the earth right now at this time is to connect with that part of themselves so that they can connect with the other parts of themselves and bring all of their self, all of their beingness to this lifetime and to this world which is about to change enormously. Number 6 is what I call the source of money flow. Now, what I mean by that is that this year is the year that you really need to start understanding and bringing it into yourself that nothing outside of you is the source of your financial flow. Nothing outside of yourself is the source of that. So this is about learning to trust your own instincts, learning to act on your inspired ideas, and learning to realize that you are the only one who is in control of the income, the money, the abundance, the wealth that you live in this world. And then number 7 is all about embodying your soul, or soul embodiment, bringing those aspects of yourself into the life that you're living here on earth. Because we're really not here anymore to be seeking enlightenment, to be seeking transcendence, to be seeking to become spiritual masters. What we're here to do is to reach those levels and then embody them on earth. That's what we're here for now. Christ consciousness is here within you, and it's time for you to step on the earth as that, to be that, so to speak, because that's what's going to change the world. So, as I said, that's much better this time around, isn't it, people who were on the call the other night? 23 minutes in, 13 minutes talking about those 7 things, and now what we're going to do is open up or invite you to unmute yourself and ask a question. If you unmute yourself and there's more than one person, thank you, Shirley Ann. She's just said I did well. Thank you so much. I was really aiming for it to get that out of the way, because I know that we're here mostly to serve your needs. So you need to get on, you need to tell us what your need is, and we need to, there's that word need. Nothing, we don't need anything, you don't need anything, but that's the game we're playing tonight. All right? So as I was saying, if you want to unmute yourself and speak, if you unmute yourself and you speak and someone else is speaking at the same time, we'll move on to one person, and if the other person can just mute themselves again if they've got any noise in the background, that way we can really hone in on who we're speaking to. I want to also say to you, and I know each and every one of you know this because you're all beautiful soul-connected people, anything that anybody asks us and any response that comes through and any healing work that is done It's done collectively. In other words, you will receive what you came here for, whether you speak to us or not. That's a given. That's how this works. This is how you will be working if you're not already. Collectively, you see, you understand? As we connect to our soul, we all become one. And anything that I do, any growth that I do, any healing work that I do on myself, I do for everyone else. And the same is true for you. So, let's get to it. Who wants to, if you can't figure out how to unmute yourself, don't ask me because I'm not on your end. My screen looks quite different than you. But if you can't figure it out, put in the chat box that you'd like to speak to me, because I can unmute you from my perspective here. And I'm going to take a sip of water before I take any calls. Although we do have a question from Anne. So I'll just take a sip of water because I'm getting very thirsty here. The energy is getting quite strong. And then we'll address that question for you, Anne. Thank you. There's the local train. Okay, it is a great question, Anne. It is a great question. So Anne has asked, how can we hear our soul's voice more often? So essentially the question for, I use the expression soul's voice, we use the expression soul's voice, but essentially what that is how do I hear the messages from my guides? How do I hear the messages from my guidance? How do I know they're talking to me and it's not just my ego? And all of this is all wrapped up in the same thing. So we're going to answer that as a collective thing. And so here's the thing, Anne, and anybody else who is interested in this. The first thing to understand is that it takes practice. And the more you do it, the more easy it will be for you to, first of all, to do it and to connect, and next to actually hear the answers. Now, what we would say to you is that many of you are practicing. Many of you are putting in rituals in order to do this. Many of you are hearing the answers, but you don't trust them. And we think this is the biggest problem, you see. We say problem, it's not a problem. It is simply living and how life is done as a human being. And we understand that. And so we want to address the question of trust at the end of what we're about to say. So for the moment, what we want to say to you is this. It is a matter of practice, and the best way to practice is simply to make time for yourself. You see, you will be doing your self-care at the same time. Do you like the way it all fits together? We do. We like the simplicity of it all. And so what we're saying to you is, if you make a ritual of self-care in which every day at some point in time, and it matters not whether it's the same time every day in your 24 hours, those sorts of things really do not matter, because it is all energy and there is no time or space. It is all happening in this moment right now. So if you choose a moment every single day in which to allow yourself some moments of self-care, to shut your mind down and to simply sit in gratitude and sit in desire to connect and sit in desire to hear a message, then you will receive that, you see. And so it is really a matter of turning it into a, we cannot pick up on the word, we're going to say ritual, but that's not really the word that we're looking for. What we're looking for is a habit. That's the word. And we use that word quite a bit, so we're confused by that moment. So it is a habit, you see. We want you to start a habit of sitting quietly, spending time with yourself, going inside. In other words, the best way to do this is to close your eyes and then to imagine that your eyes are being drawn down into your heart space. because just behind that is where your soul sits from our perspective. And bring your attention all the way down to that point and then simply gaze at it and wait for your soul to show up. You see, you've had your soul there all of your life. It's been there all of your life. And the reason that you all are starting to wake up is because your soul is sitting there tapping on the back of your heart. Knock, knock, knock. Can we come in? Can we come in? Is it time yet? Can we come in? And now you're saying, yes, please, come in. And then you run away from it, or you get busy doing other things, and then you neglect it again. And so what we're suggesting is that you make a daily habit of connecting with your soul and asking for its guidance. And within a certain time, and it depends on your own level of faith and trust, within a certain amount of time, we will respond to you, you see. We will answer your question. We will give you the guidance that you seek. And you will hear it. You're already hearing it. And then the next bit comes in, you see, and this is the most important bit because we are already speaking to you through all manner of things, but you're not trusting it. In other words, particularly if you hear a voice coming from inside you, you think, oh, that's just me, I'm making it up. And we would say, yes, you are, and isn't that perfect? Because we come from that place of made up. We come from that place of imagination. We come from that place of things you cannot see. So you assume that it can't be anything real, you see. And yet it is realer than any real thing you've ever seen. We think you get the point now. Thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for that question, Anne. There was a lot of energy around that, so I would imagine that there's been a lot of, I don't even know the word that I'm trying to use. I get my brain gets a little bit befuddled when I'm between these states, back and forth between them, so you'll forgive me, I know you will. What I'm trying to say is that when the energy that is that strong and my arms are moving and my hands are moving when we're answering, then we're working in your energy field to help you to awaken to that thing that you so desire. You already have it. Stop desiring it and start listening to it. Yes, Shirley Ann, we are recording, so you can catch up with that bit. And it will be great for you to do that, actually, with that particular question. All right. Anybody else, as I take another sip of water? As I said, just unmute yourself, or if you are not able to do that or can't figure out how to do that, just, thank you, Lisa. Yes, I'm glad that's answered your question as well. But please, if you have any other questions, do jump on. Unmute yourself and speak. And if you can't unmute yourself, you can't figure it out, just put your, just let me know in the chat room and I will unmute you from this end. It just makes it easier than me unmuting everyone and then muting everyone, and the little mechanical voice quickly, constantly comes in and out, interrupts everything. So give me 2 seconds, Trish. I'm going to unmute you. I just have to move my screen so I can see where you are. Trish, there you are. All right, fantastic. I'm just unmuting you, Trish.
Cool.
And you are unmuted now. Hello.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you speak just a little bit louder?
Okay, and I'll just move around a bit. Is that a bit better?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. I was actually, first of all, thank you for putting this on. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, we'd like to say to you and to everyone here, yes, we put it on, but we only do that to answer the calling, you see. So the credit goes to each and every one of you.
No. And I actually had a different question originally, but after listening just then, my question has actually changed. Now, since I've taken up the calling of my soul over the last 6 months or so, which I'm sure you've noticed, things are sort of changing in my life. But something else that's changing is that many people are actually dropping out of my life too, and you know, sometimes I know that that's okay, and then other times I think, oh, you know, maybe, I don't know what I think. I think it's down to trusting myself again, and you know, maybe I'm not
Well, here's the
saying
thing.
things right or something.
Here's the thing that we want you to understand. What is it within you? And there is a place, we know this, but we like to bring you to it gently rather than tell you. Where is it within you that you doubt yourself? Where is it within you that you imagine yourself to be so very different than everyone else? In other words, what we're saying to you is when they're in your energy, they feel what you... they read your energy, they feel that you think that you're different than them, and so it's not comfortable for them. And we don't mean that to say that you think you're better than them in any way, shape or form. We're saying that because that question crossed somebody's mind just then. What we're suggesting is that they are reflecting to you some part of yourself that thinks that you have to lose them in order to move forward.
Okay. Yep.
Do you understand?
Yes,
now,
I do.
You will naturally lose people who will vibrate away from you. We like to put it that way. They will vibrate away from you. As you raise your vibration, if it really grates on them because they want to wallow in the lower vibrations, then they will move away. But they're not the ones that you're going to miss, are they? It's the ones that you're going to miss that you're desiring to not have vibrate away from you. And so what we would say to you is this: if you look at everybody as pure love, as who they truly be, then there's no reason for them to vibrate away, you see. So there's something within you that's not looking at them and seeing the true reflection of who they are. Perhaps because you see within them something you don't necessarily like within yourself. And you haven't dealt with that yet. You haven't looked into that dark spot. Have we chased you away?
No, I'm here. No, I'm here. Thank you very much. Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense? You see what we're saying to you?
Yes, it makes sense. I agree.
And yet we want to say to you, you see, we feel all of a sudden your withdrawal of energy into something called guilt. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'll have to go and chase and find this thing that I'm doing wrong. And we want you to understand that there is nothing going wrong. There is nothing going wrong. You have never done anything wrong. We're just simply adjusting you to move to the next level, you see, by making this into your awareness so that you can then do the next thing and move even further along, because we know that is your desire.
It certainly is my desire, and it's definitely I'm full steam ahead and going the way of my soul now, no matter what.
And you see, the moment
it does hurt. It does hurt when people drop out of your life.
Yes. But see, the moment that you decide that there's something wrong with that, that's the moment that you hold yourself stuck. When you can simply look at it and say, isn't that interesting? Or look at it and say, that's a reflection of my growth. Wow, I'm going places.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you're not holding yourself back, you see, because you look at it and at the moment what you're doing is you're looking at it and feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And then also beating yourself up for something that you think you've done.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that. You see, you asked for this growth and now you've got it.
Yeah. It was probably coming more from a lack of confidence than guilt, but you know, there is an element of that there as well. I totally agree. Yes. Yes.
We are done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll just mute Trish again. Wow, that takes it out of me coming back and forth all the time like that. But that's okay. I feel great. It's not something that's hurting. It just it takes a lot of concentration. And I've been reflecting on that this afternoon, actually, because as some of you know, I do the Soul TV show and I record sometimes 2 shows in one day, one after the other. The second one usually being the channeling one. And to sit in the studio while other people are voicing their opinion and to try and keep my light trance state can be a little bit difficult, and I end up holding all of my muscles so tight that at the end of it I can't stand up for a few minutes because of the immense concentration it takes for me to stay in that state when there's so much going on around me and so many people with opinions and me and wanting to tell my opinion as well. So I was just thinking about that this afternoon, and I just recognised that this experience tonight is the same thing where I'm back and forth. So I'm just talking, I guess, to keep myself busy. Is there anyone who will save me from myself and ask a question or jump into the chat room and ask me to unmute you? Darlene, okay, I'm going to come and unmute you, darling. Darlene. And there you are. Hello.
Thank you. I'm not really sure of my question. I kind of am, but kind of not. I'm really ready to move forward and have clients now, but I'm not sure, how can I don't know what I'm saying.
How do I get them? Where are they going to come from?
Yes.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. How do you get them? You become your soul. Where are they going to come from? Your soul tribe. Now, we know we're being very cheeky here and trying to make it sound as simple as possible, and we know that it's not for so many of you. Here's what we want to say to you. The more you spend connecting with your soul and asking for its guidance, the more it will guide you, you see, to take the right steps. Now, we'll use this one as an example. And it took us a long time to convince her that this was the right thing to do, you see. She used to balk at posting things on Facebook in an instant when the idea would come to her, you see. She would type them in and then not hit the button until she started to do this, you see. And then she started to notice that every single time she did, she would receive a new client, or she would receive someone asking more questions about the work that she does. And she finally got it, you see. Act on your inspired thoughts. That's how you get them, you see. By energetically recognizing that someone is in that space, and we're not just talking about that place where you all play on Facebook, but what we're saying is when you're somewhere and you have an inspired idea that just feels right to do something, to say something, to smile at someone, to post on social media, to do anything at all, take that step, you see. You waste so much time not taking it. And you need to take it immediately. Because if you don't, it is the human condition that then you don't do it at all. So what we're saying to you is get more comfortable hearing your soul's voice and then act on it when you hear it, regardless of how for just one moment your ego says you can't do that. That's scary. That's not going to work. People are going to judge you. You see what we're saying?
Yep, that's so spot on.
Indeed, and yet we want to say to you that you are walking this path, you see. You are on your way, so to speak. So what we would like to see from you and from everybody is to start trusting that whatever is happening right in this moment is the right thing to be happening. You see, you ask your question from a place of thinking that there are things that you need to do in order to get there. We wish to say to you, you're already there, just keep going. Beautiful. And it will become easier as you move. Yes?
Cool. Thank you so much. That's perfect.
Indeed, indeed. I don't know about you, but I've got a big smile on my face. Okay. Shirley Ann has a question, so I will just unmute Shirley Ann and give me 2 seconds to do that. And Darlene has a huge smile as well. Of course you do. Okay. Shirley Ann, you've got me burping already. Excuse me. So when energy moves, often for a lot of healers, and certainly the beautiful lady who taught me Reiki, the first time I met her, she was standing there doing a Reiki healing and burping, and of course it was hilarious. Little did I know that I would be doing the same thing. So Shirley Ann, you are on now. Hello, Shirley Ann, are you there? Oh.
It helps if I unmute me at this end. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I burp too on occasions when I'm doing work. So, and source of money flow, if my notes are correct, I've got written down understand money flow. So can I have some more information about that?
Right.
What is understanding money flow? What is money flow?
Okay.
What is that all about?
All right, so what we want to say to you here, the way we want to start this conversation is by saying that we mentioned at the beginning the 7 steps. One of the steps is to come to a realization that nothing outside of you is the source of your income or the source of your money flow. Yes?
Yes.
And here's what we want to say to you, and so many of you, but particularly you. Your happiness, you understand, is coming from within. In other words, you are responsible for your happiness. You know that. You know that with every cell in your body.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why is it different?
Why is it different with money?
Yes. In other words, why do you believe that about happiness? Why do you believe that you're responsible for everything that happens in your life, but not money?
Yeah, I've been looking at that in depth recently, and about not being responsible for, the debt I've created, and I just
we're going to ask you some questions, and we're going to do it rapid fire, and we're going to have you understand that there is within the telephone call, those who don't need to hear this won't hear it. In other words, they won't be able to hear the questions that your responses, but because we want you to be totally open and honest. And so what we would say to you is this: what do you need to do in order to get out of that debt?
Create more clients.
And how do you have to do that?
Get my website organised and marketing and promotion happening.
And so what does that involve?
It involves getting very clear on what my message is, and
well, here's where we want to pull you up right away. It's got nothing to do with any of those things. It only has to do with this.
Okay.
Take action. Take action to serve somebody,
yes.
Not to get your website done, not to call the person who's doing your website, not to figure out who your niche market is, but to take action to serve somebody. And then serve someone else, and then serve someone else, and then serve someone else. Make that your priority. You don't have to get it all right before you take a step. You have to take a step first.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I do have that thing, or my ducks have to be lined up. And they don't.
Well, what's the point of having lined up ducks if there's no one there to serve? Find the people to serve first, and then do everything around that. Find out what they want from you, and then build your site from that. Find out what they want from you, and then find others who are similar to them. Instead of trying to do it the wrong way around, you're doing it the wrong way around. And we understand you're doing that because there are so many people out there telling you that that's the way it's supposed to be done. But, again, we want to say to you, somewhere deep within you, you know the first thing to do is to go and serve somebody. But you've been pushing it away, because something outside of you has always told you that that's not the way you do it. In other words, you're not trusting yourself, your natural instincts, which are telling you to go and serve someone, and you're saying, but I can't yet because I haven't got my ducks in a row. There's no quacking.
Yes, and thank you for the reminder. Thank you. I
yes,
do
indeed.
hear
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like that one. That's a hard one for me too. That really is a hard one for me too. You know, really our first priority, and you know, you hear this all the time. You really hear this all the time, but it's such a hard step to take. Serve. Serve, serve, serve first. And, you know, we're all in such money struggle that we think, well, I can't serve first because I have to get someone to pay me first because then I can pay my rent and then I'll be okay to serve. But no, truly, serve first in whatever way you can. And if that means going and getting a job so that you have that sense of comfortableness that will then allow you to serve, then go and do that for the time that you need to. But when you're coming from your soul, it just wants to serve. It's not concerned with money. And you have to come to a new understanding that if you follow your soul, the money will come. Yes, we hear it all the time. We truly do hear it all the time. But I think we need to come to a new understanding about it. I think we need to come to the understanding that it's like the word authenticity. You know, this has been something I've been thinking about a lot lately as I really step more fully into what I'm here to do in such a bigger way than I've ever done before, and it scares the crap out of me. But the thing that scares me the most is being completely and utterly truthful and honest to everybody about who I am at a soul level. Now, I've always thought I was being authentic, but I didn't realize that I wasn't until I became more authentic. The other day, I essentially just went, bleh, this is who I am. I do this thing. It's part of who I am. I have no angst about it anymore because, you know what? It just is something that's happening to me. You might think I'm mental, and plenty of people do, by the way, mostly the people that I love dearly. But it's happening. This is happening to me. And it's not just happening to me, it's happening to other people. And so it can't be wrong. It can't be wrong. Whether it is comfortable for other people, it really doesn't matter because it can't be wrong. And so that's the new level of authenticity. I mean, none of this hiding, none of this putting out marketing that speaks to other people because you want to start serving people who can afford you instead of the people who want you, which are the ones who understand what you do. There's no more of that. That is not truly being authentic. You have to market to who you are. You have to say, you have to be willing to get on your website. And I thank Susie for this because I didn't realize how my level of authenticity had changed until she said to me, I asked her to go and have a look at my new page, which is for my new program, which starts in March, and it's called Evolution 2015. The video that's on that page, right up front there, is me, a little quick message from me, and then the video of the guides speaking with my face, which makes really weird faces, I've noticed. Whenever they're talking, I make the weirdest faces. And that's hard for a woman who's used to trying to look pretty, let me tell you. So what I was saying is that she said to me, oh, that is really brave of you to put that video there. And I was like, what on earth do you mean? What's brave about it? I actually had to send her a message and say, I don't understand why you think it's brave for me to do that. And she came back and said, well, I guess it's not, but you don't see that. You do not see people channeling on their website because that's what they do. Even the people who do it, they don't show it up front. Only to the people that they know will accept it. And she said, and you've got it right there on a website that anybody can find. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am becoming more. I am becoming more. So I don't know what the point of that story was, but what I would like to do is invite you, if you're interested in working with me from March for 9 months. This program is going to be amazing. I'm incredibly excited about it. It's fun. There's going to be fun and games. There's challenges. There's dares. And there is 2 calls a month. Open calls just like this one where you get to ask your questions. There's a daily interaction on a Facebook private group. And, oh, look, there's just all sorts of stuff. I'm really, really excited. They came up with this with me. It was a real team effort. And it feels like it's the right time for this. It feels like it's the right time to offer this to people who are ready, as you all are. It really is the right time. People are ready for this. And I'd like to say, when I say that, it's easier for me to be authentic now because I truly do understand, and I want you to understand this. Everybody is going through this. Every single person in the world is going through this at some level. They don't know. What I'd like to suggest is that we go back to the time of the dinosaurs. There was an evolution that happened then. It just happened. This evolution is also going to just happen. That's not to say that everybody's going to start sprouting weird voices as I do. One day they're going to wake up and do that. But what is happening is people are starting to understand that there's more to them than they realised. And those who want to will be searching for those who do more and understand this. And they'll be learning how to do the things that we do quite naturally, some of us here, if not all of us here, actually. So there's no point hiding yourself anymore. It's time to really become authentic. I see the word authentic being used all the time out there in the world, certainly for small businesses and those sorts of things. I don't yet think we've hit what real authenticity is in this day and age. But we're on our way, which is great. So there was a little rant for you. Listen, it's 3 minutes to 8. We've been almost an hour, but I'm willing to stay for a little bit longer if anybody else has any questions or would like to ask anything. And thanks, girls, Shirley Ann and Teresa, acknowledging that the answer just there about marketing, market to who I am and those sorts of things helped some of you, so that's great. Oh, and thank you. I love the rant as well, and I appreciate that you do. Lisa had a question, so just let me, I'll open up your line, Lisa, and then I'm going to take a sip of water again. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Anne. I'm good. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much for tonight. It's it just means a lot to have your time. It's very, very special. So I just wanted to ask.
As is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. For several years now, I've been able to hear energy, and I think that's all I can describe it as. I don't know what it is.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, so it's like a low humming noise, and I can hear it when I listen for it and when it's quiet. And I just wanted to know what's the purpose of hearing that, because it hasn't evolved into like voices or messages. I can just kind of hear it, and I'm sort of getting frustrated. I acknowledge it and I know it's there, but what is it for?
Well, of course, what's happening is that the vibration of the whole world and the earth and all the beings on it is raising. And so you are now hearing sounds that you never heard before. And yes, it can be a precursor to voices speaking to you, but it's not necessarily so. It is, if you would like to see it this way, the hum of the evolution. And as you raise your vibration to match it, you will hear it more and more and more, you see. Prior to this, your vibration was lower than it, so you could not connect with it. It is certainly a precursor to you becoming more than you've ever been before. You're already more than you've ever been before, and you will be more than that again, you see. And so what we want to say to you is, don't have expectation around it. You've been sitting in expectation for that it will bring something more, something more, something more. In your expectation of waiting for that, you're not seeing what is already there.
Okay.
In
So
other
I
words,
just kind of,
like,
if I revel in the glory of it, like...
Well, yes, and we would say the gratitude, the appreciation, the wow, aren't I clever? I'm evolving. Aren't I clever? I'm evolving. Aren't I clever? I'm evolving. One of these days I will be able to hear the soul voice that I've been longing for. And it will say, what do you mean one of these days? We've been doing it forever. But you're not hearing us, simply because you're expecting something different.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, trust what comes through you, trust that it is your guidance, and follow it. And the more you follow it and give it your attention, the louder it will become, and the more what you expect it to be, it will become.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so yes, the question about a friend, that should be all right. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. It depends what the question is, of course. So listen, I'll just unmute you, and we can have another chat, because we like chatting with you. So I'll just unmute you. Hello.
Hi again.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you very much for this opportunity again.
Of course.
Well, I'm in the position not to ask for myself. I'm that good. I'm joking.
Yes, we know you are, you see. You're not joking. We know that you are that good.
I must say I kind of feel it too, but, well,
yes.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate talking to you. Well, I have this very good friend of mine, a girl called Irina. My big question is, from all the therapies we both know, what would be the best for her to regain her inner power, if you see what I mean,
well,
please.
Again, what we want to say is that the thing that is lacking here is faith in self, trust. You see,
yes.
There is a smushing together of so many things that have been learned to make something unique. But there is this sense within that one that, and within many, that's why we're answering the question, because it's not just for her, you see. It is also for you.
I know.
And for many others here, you see. The thing is this. The modality, so to speak, that you bring forward is your very own. This is the world that we're stepping into now. You make up your own stuff. But the thing you have to do before you can make up your own stuff and offer it to anybody is to believe that you are that good.
Yes.
And that you can do this thing that you've come up with out of your own imagination, you see. Because we both know it doesn't come out of your own imagination. It comes from your future selves and your past selves who have done all of this before and are bringing it forward now in order to work with you to change the world.
All right.
So again, it is all about self-trust. The work to be done with this one is to encourage her to trust herself more. Whatever feels good to you to do, then that's the thing to do. If it's to bring this and this and this together, then bring them together and do that thing. Or if it is simply to stand there and be a channel and just marvel at the wonderful things that come through, then that's the thing to do, you see. In other words, what we're saying to you is there's no thinking about it. There is simply being it.
More like be for her and see what's going to come up.
Yes, indeed. We
Thank
think
you so
you
much.
are a great encourager, and we would like to see you simply encourage trust in others. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I know you can. In other words, is what you want to be saying to others.
Yes, and I was frustrated because I couldn't see how in the world we can go on and move on. Me too, of course.
Yes, and so the thing to do is to encourage self-trust and to
self-trust.
also encourage the next thing, because so many of you are caught up in this headspace of, I can't mush a few things together and make it my own, because that would be wrong. That's taking from others and changing their work and all of these sorts of things. And we're saying to you that is exactly what is required.
Please excuse me, mushing, I don't know this word.
Mushing, we simply mean taking a bit from here and a bit from there and mixing them together.
Oh.
Yes?
Yes, yes. I listened to the record anyway, to comprehend the whole answer.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. And if I may, a little question for me. If you see, I have these little radionic drawings. They are copies or self-made as this one. Oh, yeah. Are they at least half working as the originals? Please tell me.
Speak that question again for us.
I have these radionic drawings.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that? I have some copies, made Xerox copies.
Yes.
Or by the...
And yes, they are as powerful.
As powerful?
Yes, indeed.
That's amazing.
Well, here's the thing. If you believe they are, then they are, you see.
That's a point, but the
because
technical point...
it's not the image, it's the energy.
And I do get this. All right. But
we know you do, but again, it's self-trust.
The very structure itself as a drawing with its imperfections, is it...
Well, there are no such thing as imperfections, you see.
Oh, come on. All right.
Yes, we are having fun, but it is true. There is nothing going wrong ever. It is simply your human mind and your ego that is saying that doesn't belong there, there's something wrong. And in fact, that belongs there and nothing is wrong.
Yes, because I've been using them for such a long time, and I must admit I was disappointed and didn't know what to believe anymore. But
well, here's the thing, you get to make up whatever you wish to believe.
Well, all right, I choose to believe.
Indeed. Take our word for it. They do. Now, here's what we want to say to you. If there is an anomaly that looks different than what you think it should look, then that is there because it matches the being that will see it, you see.
Please tell me again the last part.
If there is an anomaly, in other words, if in a straight line there is a bump, it is there for a reason because it has a message for whoever is going to look at it.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes?
Yes. And I sense this in other aspects, except this one.
Yes, you see, you know all of these things. We're not telling you anything you don't already know. Trust yourself.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure.
We love you very much. Yes, indeed.
My dear friends, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Wow.
What? Meow. Hello?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. That was so funny because I unmuted myself. How funny. And I was saying to Anne, who is leaving us to get on with whatever she needs to do, thank you for joining us. And we'll talk to you soon. Now, for everyone else, if there's anybody else who wanted to have a question or ask for anything or take the time now with me, if I can serve you, before we close off the call. So I'll just take a breather and let me know if you're there. If anyone wants to ask a question, either unmute yourself or let me know in the chat room. This has been a great call. Wow, you people are amazing. What great questions. So I'm just taking a sip of water. I'll give you a few moments in case anyone wants to ask anything. And yes, Lisa, it is a lovely bunch of people, isn't it? Lisa's just said, what a lovely bunch of people. So, Teresa, would you like to talk to us? Because we like to answer questions rather than talk to something. Oh, no, you've gone. Okay. Yes, you are. Okay. I'm glad your questions have been answered, Lisa. So let me just unmute Teresa.
Hey.
And hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Hello, team, you guys. Always love them. They always set me straight. Yes,
we all need some help sometimes, don't we? Even when we are quite capable of doing this for ourselves. It's wonderful to have other people out there who can...
I love that they shoot straight from the hip and they, there's no BS with them. And same with my guys too, and I love that.
Yes, it's good, isn't it? Okay. So, you want to talk more about soul embodiment?
Yeah, I was just looking down the list of the 7 things that I wrote down that you said, and soul embodiment.
Yes.
I'd just like to know a bit more about that. Like, what do they mean?
Okay.
I think I've got an idea of what you mean, but I'd like to know more, please.
Well, essentially, if you break down soul embodiment, anybody want a bottom? Okay, straighten up, Anne. Right. Okay. Just before we do that, I'm going to answer Dorothy, who has just put into the chat room, I want some guys too. There's only one answer for that, Dorothy. You've got them.
Yeah.
You've always had them. Yes, through me for the moment, but there will come a time when you will start to see them yourself. Or not see them, I'm not trying to scare you, but you will come to know them yourself as you connect more with your soul. And you know what? I have to say, you are doing incredibly well. Really, your energy, we've known each other for a long time. We've done lots of work together, and just take it from me and from the guides who are saying to me to say this, you're doing exceptionally well. Just keep going. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that feeling of being on the brink, and yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and that you did say it was all about connecting with the soul, and I did that for quite a number of years and just didn't trust what I got.
Yes.
And so my development took a lot longer. Yeah, even though I knew it was happening, I knew I was going to be a channel and all this sort of stuff. And then I said, well, why did you take so long? And they just smacked me upside of the head and said, you know those little intuitive hits you used to get and you used to edit them? You'd go, oh, no, I can't take that. I think I'm nuts. Well, that was us. And we figured, well, if you weren't listening then, why should we give you more? I went, okay.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
Is learning to trust.
And that's also, Teresa, really pertinent to... when you first connect with your soul, when you first start connecting to it and asking for guidance, it's really, really important that you take notice of it and give thanks for the guidance, that you take action if you need to, that you acknowledge, because, and this really falls into self-care as well. This is what I like to call the care and feeding of your soul. Your soul, once you finally say, hello, come in, it falls over itself with excitement because it's been waiting for so long. Oh my God, she can see me. I'm talking as your soul now. Oh my God, she can see me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Ask me a question, ask me a question, ask me a question. Tell me what you want, tell me what you want. I'll get it for you. Tell me what you want. And then you say, well, this is what I want. And they say, well, this is how to get it. And then you don't do anything. And they go, deflate. Oh my God, she didn't hear us. Oh my gosh, she still isn't listening to us. Oh, let's just go back and hide again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's really what happens. So once you start connecting with your soul, if you start practice and take action, or at least acknowledge that you're hearing it, and so you're doing self-care for your soul, which by the way is self-care for your soul, for yourself, because you're one and the same. So let's move to soul embodiment. So if you break that word down, it just simply means to embody your soul, to bring your soul into this human life, to start seeing through the eyes of your soul. In other words, to see everyone as who they truly are. To see everyone as their own soul. To see from your soul that everyone else is also a soul. Some are struggling and some a damn thing. But the problem with being human is that we see the one that's struggling and we have expectations and we have judgments, and we see the one who's dancing and we have expectations and judgments about that as well, instead of just simply seeing that it is what it is. When you can bring
time when I'm in that state, and I have periods of time when I'm not. What I found a bit tricky is that when I look at people through my eyes of love and through my soul and looking at their soul, and this is more in the case of in a relationship where it can be abusive, I look at the perfection of their soul, and yet on the human level I'm being abused. And it's like, and where do I, like,
this
the higher self goes, yes, I have compassion, I understand why you do, blah, 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 but the human's really suffering. And, like, how do what do I do in that situation?
Here's what is perfect about this question. Because what you're describing is living from your soul. What we're describing is bringing your soul into your human self. In other words, caring as much for your soul and its needs as you do for yourself and your needs. So when you can see the person who's abusing you with compassion, but you know that the best thing for you to do is walk away, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, that's self-care.
Both things together.
Right.
Sorry, we cut you out then. You said something.
So that then leads in. That's about self-care for the soul, putting the care of the soul and the love for the soul first, and go, well, yeah, okay.
Yes, because here's the thing: if you can stand in front of someone and still see that come from that level of compassion, allow them to be who they are, because you don't have a right to not allow them to be who they are when you're coming from your soul. You have no need to change them. You have no need to tell them they're wrong. But you also have to understand that, how does it feel to me? Oh, it feels horrible. Oh, I need to move away from this. That's self-care.
Okay.
For both you and your soul, because here's the thing: if you continue to be in that situation, your soul will hide. Your soul will go back to being ignored by you, because you will move into pain and you'll forget who you are. You can't do the two things together. But what we're saying is that to embody your soul, to bring all the compassion, all the Christ consciousness, all the love, all the allowance, all the acceptance, all the non-judgment, in other words, all the unconditionality from your soul into living daily. And yet also recognizing that you are a human being and you're the most important human being, and you have to care for how you feel.
That's all about the feeling.
Yes. Well, that's what self-care is about, really, isn't it? Because when we're not caring for ourselves, we start to fade away, don't we?
Yeah.
And we neglect our feelings. We push them aside. That's not self-care. You need to do soul living and bring self-care in, and that way you don't lose either parts of you. You bring them together. And that's what this is all about. This is really about bringing your soul into your human life. So living a soul life but being grounded, that's the kind of wording that people use.
Yeah.
In order to evolve into the next human being, or what some people call the new human. The new human is simply someone who's walking on this earth in a human body, having a human experience, in other words, having jobs, having fun, having sex, eating food, even having arguments and all of these sorts of things. But also having their soul there with them, guiding them, sharing its love with them, seeing everyone around them as they truly are. Because the minute you start seeing everybody as your soul sees them, there's no hate, there's no need to fight in the way that war-like. There's no need to demand that they be the same as you, and that's what causes all of our problems.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Anne.
How does that feel?
Feels good. Feels good.
Great.
I'd forgotten
Wonderful.
that I had to go back to my feelings and to take care of that. They've had a bit of a beat.
Feelings. Yes. It's really, really important that you take care of your feelings. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Absolutely acknowledge them. And give them attention. Attention, that's the word I'm trying to say. Give them attention. Let them know that you're feeling that way. And then you can go wherever you want to with that. But as long as your soul wants to be heard, and so do your feelings.
Yep.
And your feelings, like your soul, want to know that you're listening to them. And that you're taking action when you know you need to. Which is, of course, walking away from the situation if that's what you need to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Anne.
All right, thank you very much, Teresa. I've just noticed that Tracy's joined us. I'm sorry, Tracy, but you've come on at the tail end of the call. I hope you didn't get the times wrong, or maybe you did, or at least this time I got the times right. You are welcome to ask a question. We're still on the call. We've gone a bit over time, but I've been hanging around to see if anybody else wants to ask any questions. If anybody would like to, we'll make it our last one. So if anyone wants to ask another question or ask for anything that we can help you with, or clarification on anything, Tracy, we will be sending out the recording of the call. If you are signed up to have come on the call, I don't know whether you just found the link through Facebook, or whether you Tracy's had trouble connecting. So anyway, look, if you're signed up to receive the call information, then you'll also be receiving the recording tomorrow. So I'm sure you'll get what you need from it. But while you're here, if there is something that you specifically wanted to ask about, I'm happy to give you a couple more minutes of my time. Otherwise, I'm then going to get going. It's been long. My little boy is due to go to bed in about 20 minutes, and I want to give him a big smushy hug before he does that, because I'm feeling all loved up right now. As you can imagine, when I have my guides come through, it just feels like I just feel like a ball of love. All right. So I guess nobody else wants to ask a question, so I'll say good night. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope, well, I'm not going to say I hope it's been fun, because I know it has. It's certainly been fun for me. I'd love it if you feel the call that you would perhaps consider joining the Evolution 2015. It's going to be heaps of fun, and it's going to change your life. I can say that without a doubt. It's a 9-month program that we're starting on the 1st of March. Yeah, so if that sounds interesting to you, jump on, have a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you all very much. Thank you so, so much. Oh, Tracy, that question about connecting with your guides. Right at the beginning of the call, we had a big discussion about that subject, about connecting with your guides and connecting with your soul and receiving its messages and all of those things. So please do listen to the recording. And then after that, if you do have another question, you can shoot me an email, whatever you want to do. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast for me. This is where I wish to live all the time, but I've got a child to look after. So I'll leave you to it. Good night. Thank you so much. And you are really loved beyond anything you can imagine. Thank you.